Welcome students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Chapter 9 Control and Coordination. So let us continue with part 6 of the chapter. Students, in this chapter, that is in Control and Coordination, we are studying about the human brain. So in my previous lectures, we have been dealing with the forebrain and midbrain. We have studied the part of the forebrain as well as the midbrain, and also we have studied about the functions, what are the functional areas of the forebrain as well as the midbrain. Now in today's lecture, we will be studying about the hindbrain, which is the third part of the brain. Hindbrain. Now hindbrain, it is the posterior region of the brain, and it consists of three important parts, that is pons varolii, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. You can see in the image the position of the pons varolii, position of medulla and the cerebellum. So the hindbrain, it consists of pons varolii, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Now the pons varolii, it appears as a round bulge. You can see in the image the position, the pons varolii, it appears like a round bulge, and on the underside, it is on the underside of the brainstem. Now what is brainstem? Brainstem, it consists of midbrain, pons varolii and medulla, and it continues up to the spinal cord. So the spinal cord, if you can see in the image, so that is the actually the pons varolii, medulla and the midbrain. These three, it consists of the brain stem, and the pons varolii, it is underside of the brain stem, and it contains a cross band of nerve fibers which is connecting cerebrum, cerebral lobes, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. So this pons varolii, it is connecting the spinal cord, the midbrain and the medulla oblongata. It consists of several nuclei. So what are the points which you will be keeping in your mind is, first of all, hindbrain is the posterior region of the brain. Second, it consists of pons varolii, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Now pons varolii, it is a round bulge-like structure which is situated underside the brainstem, and it consists of several nuclei. After pons varolii comes the cerebellum. So the cerebellum, it is the second largest part of the brain, and it consists of two lateral hemispheres and a central vermis. Now it is composed of white matter with a thin layer of gray matter and the cortex. So the cerebellum, it is the second largest part of the brain after the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the first, second is the cerebellum. It consists of the white matter and a thin layer of gray matter. So the white matter, it intermixes with the gray matter and shows a tree-like pattern called arbor vitae. So the white matter, actually what it happens, it mixes with the gray matter and it shows a tree-like pattern. If you can see in the picture, the cerebellum, it is showing a tree-like pattern that is called arbor vitae. When we study about the hindbrain, we focus on the cerebellum. Not only cerebellum, the other parts as well, but cerebellum is like the second largest part of the brain. First one is cerebrum. So here the cerebellum, it has n number of functions to perform. It shows convolutions which is the gyri and sulci, which actually gyri and sulci, which we have studied in the forebrain. It gives the surface area so that thousands and millions of neurons, they get accumulated, they give the surface area, this gyri and sulci. So there are a number of nuclei which lie deep within each lateral and cerebral hemisphere. So there are over like 30 million neurons which lie in the cortex of the cerebellum. Now three pairs of myelinated nerve bundles, they are called cerebellar peduncles. They connect cerebellum to the other parts of the central nervous system. Now cerebellum, it is the part of the brain, and the central nervous system, it consists of the brain and the spinal cord. So this cerebellum is connected to central nervous system by the help of this nerve bundles which are myelinated, and they are called as cerebellar peduncles. Now it is an important center which maintains equilibrium of the body. Now when I'm talking about the functions, so first it maintains the equilibrium of the body posture. You maintain a proper posture, that is because of the cerebellum. Balancing, orientation, that is all the functions of cerebellum. moderation of voluntary movements, maintenance of muscle tone. So all these are the functions of the cerebellum. Now it is a regulatory center for neuromuscular activities and controls the rapid activities like walking, running, speaking, etc. So actually it regulates the neuromuscular activities, and it controls rapid activities like walking. We walk very rapidly, so while walking there is urgency, or you can like, it is very important to maintain a proper body balance, proper posture. So that is done by the cerebellum. And running, speaking, obviously while running we require balance, we require maintaining of the balance, we require posture, we require equilibrium in the body, as well as while speaking. So the speaking and everything, walking, running, it is controlled by the hindbrain, that is the cerebellum. All activities of cerebellum are involuntary, like it may involve learning in the early stages. So all activities, all involuntary activities, they are like controlled by the cerebellum. So cerebellum, it has a major role to play in hindbrain, and it has a number of activities which actually gives proper balance to our body. After studying about pons varolii and cerebellum, the third part of the hindbrain is the medulla oblongata. So let us focus on what it is. So the medulla oblongata, it is the posterior conical part of the brain and continues as the spinal cord. So it is the posterior conical part, and actually it forms the brain stem, and it is continues as the spinal cord. It has inner gray matter and outer white matter. Now it controls involuntary vital functions like heartbeat. So the in heartbeat controlling is done by the medulla. All the involuntary activities which is taking place in our body, it may be like which are vital for our survival, so that is done by the heart, that functions are controlled by the medulla oblongata, like functions like heartbeat, controlling respiration, vasomotor activities, and peristalsis. So it also controls non-vital reflex activities like coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting, yawning, etc. Obviously, actually all these like activities or the functions which I'm talking about right now, it's like we don't have control over it. We don't have control on coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting, yawning. We just do it. So here there is two bifurcation, which are the first is the involuntary vital function, which you can say the involuntary vital function which is very important, and second is the non-vital function. Actually it may be not that important, because not important if I'm saying that it does not affect your life, it is not at the cause of your life. Like if there is a problem in the functioning of your heart, that may result in your life. If there is any problem in functioning of the non-vital reflexes like coughing, so I don't think that it will cause your life. So these are the vital and non-vital functions of the medulla oblongata. Now the cavity of medulla is called fourth ventricle of metacele. So its roof has posterior choroid plexus of secretion of CSF. So actually the CSF, that is the cerebrospinal fluid, which we have studied in the earlier parts of this chapter. So actually this fluid, it has that opening so that it is secreted, and the posterior choroid plexus, which is shows three openings. It has a pair of lateral foramen of Luschka and median foramen of Magendie. So actually this openings, they result in the formation of the spinal cord, and this medulla oblongata, it gives rise to the spinal cord, and it controls many involuntary vital functions of the body as well as non-vital functions of the body, and it also controls the reflexes. So students, if I'm summarizing the major structures of the hindbrain, we know that hindbrain, it consists of cerebellum, medulla oblongata, and pons varolii. So here medulla oblongata, here it controls vital functions, blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing. It shows reticular formation, attention. Now cerebellum, it coordinates the movements, timing, and it directs attention. So these are the major structures of the hindbrain. and you actually have to focus on what are its important functions, especially if I'm talking about all the three parts. Like if I'm talking about cerebellum, so it has particular functions. If I'm talking about medulla oblongata, so it has another set of important functions. Also the spinal cord, if I'm talking about, so actually all these parts of the hindbrain is a very important, and actually it helps in the smoothing functioning of our body. So students, in this part, like in part 6, I have covered the brain part. So we have studied about the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, and in my next lecture I will be starting with the spinal cord. So till here you should be aware of the structure of forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. You should be aware of what are the parts of the forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, what are the functions, and what are its actually activities, and what are the function of neurons. The names are very tricky and complicated at some point, so I need you all to just note it down. So if I'm talking about midbrain, if I'm talking about the functions of the midbrain, if I'm summarizing or what recalling, so what midbrain does, it controls reflex movements of the neck, head and trunk in response to visual and auditory stimuli, and it also controls the reflex movements of the eye muscles, changes in pupil size and shape of the eye lens. So this midbrain, it has this function. So what you will do, you will just make your own notes, you will make columns, and you will write down forebrain, what are the parts, what are the functions of the particular part, and along with the diagram, that will make your study very easy. And today we have studied about hindbrain. So hindbrain, it consists of pons varolii, cerebellum and medulla. Pons varolii, its function is regulates respiration, it relays information between the cerebellum and the cerebrum. So actually it interconnects, what you can say, the cerebrum and the cerebellum. That is the function of pons varolii. Next, if I'm talking about the cerebellum, it maintains posture and balance of the body. It enables us to make precise and accurate movements. Obviously, cerebellum, it brings precision and accuracy. So here it maintains posture and balance of the body, enables us to make precise and accurate movements. Next is the medulla. It controls involuntary actions such as breathing, and it controls center for reflexes such as swallowing, coughing and vomiting. And so in that like the format which is given in the hindbrain, that way you will be making for the forebrain, midbrain and the hindbrain, plus the diagrams are very important, so you have to just follow and make a note till the brain section. So students, I hope you all must have understood the concept of hindbrain, the types or the parts of the hindbrain, and what are the functions of it, as well as the diagram. And I want you all to just go through all the part of the brain. Either it may be forebrain, midbrain or hindbrain. You have to just go through all the parts of the following brain and the functions of the same. You have to note it down, make your notes, do the assignment, and just practice diagrams. So here I have completed the brain part. In my next lecture I will be starting with the spinal cord.